And I just check my account, turns out I'm rich, I'm rich. I put my head up on my hip, I bet you dip, he dip, she dip. I say, I get the money and go, dick is hot like a stove, my glitter is gold.
Yo. This is your boy G, and this is the 6th episode of the Educated Black Siblings.
6666666.
We just wanted to start everybody out today with some smooth jazz in the style of Cardi B, Bodak, Yellow.
Yes, Cardi.
But as I said, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are listening to the 6th episode of the EBS podcast. I am Gilbert, and to my left is my sister. Introduce yourself.
Yo, what up, fam? My name is Lindsey. Y'all already know. And welcome back, y'all. Sorry we've been MIA. Had some stuff going on, technical difficulties and whatnot. But we is here. We is back. We is ready to get it popping.
And your grammar is bad. But as my sister mentioned, our apologies. We did miss a fortnight. Shout out to the YouTube listeners. I found out that we do actually have people that watch this show or listen to the show on YouTube, because several people hit me up wondering where the 5th episode was. We did not post the 5th episode on the YouTube, as my sister said, due to technical difficulties. But we will be back up and running. We'll put episodes 5 and 6 on the YouTube. But thank you to everyone that has been listening thus far. You can still follow us at the EBS Podcast on Instagram, at the EBS Podcast on Twitter, and you can just search for Educated Black Siblings on YouTube and or Google Play and iTunes.
Just all the places where you have podcasts will be there. Also shout out again to our Instagram fam, because we've been seeing y'all. We've been hearing you. Hello.
We do. We appreciate the likes. We appreciate everything. That is the biggest thing that you can do to help us. If you like this podcast, just take 30 seconds to either subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, to click that like button, or to drop a YouTube comment or an iTunes review would be extremely helpful. But let's get to the business. So for those of you that are first-time listeners, we are black, we are educated, and we are siblings. That is why the podcast is called the Educated Black Siblings. So what we do here is we start off every week with, or every 2 weeks, with some serious topics. It has worked out that the serious segment has usually been about politics, and that is because politics are in shambles right now. But we also plan on talking about politics or philosophy, religion, just things that matter to our lives. We want to start the first part of the podcast off with. Then the second part of the podcast, we jump into our pop culture news, what we like to call the fun stuff. We want to make sure that we have a healthy balance of righteous and ratchet. And then our grand finale of every podcast, so to speak, is our top 5, where we give our top 5 lists. Today's top 5 is the top 5 popular things that we hate because we are counterculturists. But enough of that. My sister, what's been up with you?
Man, nothing much. I've been out here chilling. I just got back from the beach. Got me a healthy dose of vitamin D. Is that from the sun? Vitamin D?
Vitamin D. Yeah, I think that's from the sun.
Because it's sunny D. And it has something to do with vitamins?
I think Sunny D is mostly vitamin C, which is
which vitamin is in the sun? Whatever vitamin's in the sun, I got a lot of that.
This is the educated part of this.
Just FYI, I just woke up, so if I sound,
it is early.
I literally rolled out the bed. Gilbert's like, I'm here. Okay, cool. So sorry, let my brain come on. But speaking of which, my brain has been turned off all summer because I'm a teacher and ain't nobody got time for that.
Hey.
But I got like one more week to enjoy and chill out and spend with you lovely people before I get back to yelling at kids.
Nice.
What about you, Gilbert? What's been up?
Man, not too much. Before I get into what's been up with me, so you've been on summer vacation.
I surely have.
Have you played a lot of video games on summer vacation?
I have. Just so many.
That is awesome. I like video games as well.
Tell me more.
I believe that some of our listeners like video games.
They do.
Have you ever heard of GameFly?
I surely have. Tell me more.
GameFly is basically Netflix for video games.
Gotcha.
Right? You tell them what game you want. They send it to your house. You get to keep it for as long as you want. When you're done with it, you send it back. You get another game. Right? The reason I'm telling you that is because this podcast is sponsored by GameFly.
GameFly.
You guys can help yourselves out by getting a free 30-day trial for GameFly, which means that all you have to do is sign up, There's no commitment. You sign up, they're going to send you a game for 30 days. You send it back, you get another game, etc. If you like the service, keep the service. If you don't like the service, you can cancel the service. You can help us out tremendously by going to www.gameflyoffer.com/EBS podcast. Once again, that is gameflyoffer.com/EBS podcast. And that's right, we are legit. We are sponsored.
We got sponsored.
We are here. But I've been good, man. You know, chilling, just enjoying this this age 30 that I've been at.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
3-0.
You know, I'm 3-0 savage. That's what they call me nowadays.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I've been studying a lot, man.
Hold on, I just realized that nobody calls you 3-0.
Nobody calls me 3-0
savage.
savage. Nope. As Lindsey pointed out before, I study things for fun. Lately, the last few months, I've been really into philosophy. So I've been studying the Stoic philosophers. I've been really practicing mindfulness. This is not a plug, but there's a really cool app called Headspace that is not paying the podcast. This is just a genuine sort of thing that I really like. It'll help you. It's guided meditation, right? And it's been really helpful to me, helping me center myself and find my peace.
You've been hitting the woosahs?
I mean, that's what I've been about, man.
Okay.
It's the inner peace, man.
Okay, you better be centered.
Do you have a life philosophy?
Do I have a life philosophy?
Yeah.
I'm sure that I do. Not when put on the spot, no.
I'm glad that you answered that question that way, right? Because I was studying philosophy, and a lot of people will ask, what is the point of philosophy, right? And back in the BCE days, right, the point of philosophy is that philosophy helps you decide the parameters in which you need to meet to live a good life.
Okay.
Right? And I was studying this guy today. I was reading a book, and he mentioned that most Americans subscribe to hedonistic philosophy, even though they wouldn't want to admit it. And we use the word hedonistic as a derogatory term, but the hedonist philosophy just states that our chief goal in life is to achieve the most pleasure possible.
Yeah.
And that's how most people live their lives.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked you if you had a life philosophy is because I realized that I don't have a life philosophy. Like, a lot of religious people will tell you that, oh, my life philosophy is Christianity. But if you dig into Christianity doesn't actually, the Bible doesn't give you a step-by-step, this is how you should live your day-to-day life. And if it did, you guys probably wouldn't do it anyway, right? Anyway, I don't want to get super heavy. Is that too deep? Is that too deep for the intro? That's too deep.
Adam.
That's too deep for the intro.
Jabs, Adam.
But anyway, my new motto is protect my energy. So I'm working to protect my energy.
Where are your crystals at?
And my inner peace. Man, I left my crystals at home, man.
Crystals?
Don't call me out on the podcast, man.
Protecting your energy.
Let's jump into our serious topics today.
Jump in the line. Maybe I shouldn't sing for the serious topic.
Yeah, you shouldn't sing for the serious topic. You
Uh,
can sing whenever you want to, sis.
I surely will, because it's my podcast.
It is your podcast.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me what I can't do. But what's going on in the world, man?
So Trump said no more transgenders in the military.
Well, I say no more Trump. So how about that? So how about them apples, man?
So we won't spend a lot of time here because Trump is ridiculous, and we have a lot of ridiculous things to talk about with the Trump today.
The Trump.
But the most interesting thing about the transgender ban for me is that a high-ranking military official stated this when asked how they were implementing the ban. He said, "We don't have guidance. We have a tweet. We don't execute policy based on tweets." Have I not been saying this forever?
Listen, I don't have time for him. I don't. Who are his advisors? Take the phone away. Stop tweeting out policy. Stop getting angry and tweeting things. But here's my take from the transgender ban is I think we have seen multiple times throughout this administration that there's one big thing going on, one bill trying to be passed, one movement trying to get approved, and then something else happens. I feel like this is just another thing to cloud what's going on with healthcare. So like this isn't a new thing. Like the transgender banning, it just depends on if we have a Democratic or a Republican president. Like it changes every single time. So this ban isn't that's not new. I think that the timing of it
is interesting.
And I think that there's a specific reason why he chose the same week in which his repeal bill failed.
That is interesting.
So
that is interesting.
That's my take on it.
I feel like the standard woke answer is they're trying to distract us from something else.
There it is.
But in this case, I actually think that you may be onto something, right? Because we had the whole scandal with the leakers, we had the healthcare stuff, and then he just randomly tweets out, no more transgenders in the military.
No more.
We don't do that here anymore, right?
And the generals are like, but who did you talk to? Because we ain't doing nothing. I ain't get no papers.
The thing that's most scary about it, though, is that it is working. I told you guys this last time. I am completely fatigued on Trump. I am a person that usually prides myself on being informed, but every time I see a headline about this administration, I'm checked out. I've been checked out the last few weeks, so I'm not as informed as I usually am, and it's because Trump is winning. He has defeated me. And
it's annoying. It's annoying the amount of fatigue / division that he has brought to my life. Like, yeah. I'm not, I don't understand where we are as a country right now, and I don't understand how we recover, to be honest. And we don't have to go there, but that's something that I think about often. It's like, I believe with my whole heart that this man is not going to be elected for a second term. Are we going to impeach him? I don't know if we're going to get to that point, but I don't think he'll be elected for a second term. But it's like, how do we bounce back from this, where we have not just the president, but his staff being incompetent and being ridiculous and impulsive? Just like, I don't know how we bounce back at this as a country. And from our world perspective, how other people view us, like, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, but you hired a toddler to be your president. So it's like, I don't know how we recuperate from this.
The only thing that's gonna help us bounce back is Cardi B's Bodak Yellow, which is why I played that at the beginning of the podcast. Because we want to get out of the sunken place. We have to make moves.
Listen, I don't dance now. I make money moves. Cardi B is everything.
Speaking of Cardi B,
okay.
Lindsey, tell us about what's going on with this healthcare thing.
I wish I knew what was going on with this healthcare thing. It's perfectly fitting for this administration. So essentially, we all know that Trump has been trying to replace Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and then that fell through. He's like, well, then we'll just repeal this bad boy. So they took a vote to repeal it. And then, they took a vote to vote on the bill, and then that went through. But then they did another bill, and we're like, nah, we not gonna do that. I don't know.
So where was the part where Senator McCain got out of a hospital, and then
he said, hold on,
he walked to,
he said, let me leave my health care to take your health care.
Hey, I want you to stop giving me my care.
Listen,
that is federally subsidized.
Listen, the care that you are paying for.
I want you to, now I want to go, and I'm going to take away your health care, then I'm going to go back. Then I'm going to go back.
Wait, hold on, Doc. Hold on. You just took this tumor out of my head? Well, I don't want any of the regular people to get their tumors taken, so I'm going to get mine. I can't. And listen, Twitter. Hear me, Twitter. I'm sick of your flip-flopping. Read the articles. Literally, people on my feed went from cussing out McCain to literally putting him on a pedestal.
It was confusing for me because I was just looking from like a news feed perspective, and it was like on a Monday, it was like, hey, Obamacare has been repealed. On a Tuesday, it was McCain killed Obamacare. On Wednesday, it was Trump has failed in repealing Obamacare, and McCain saved the day. I was like, what is going on?
But this is what I want to say. The people that were confused are ill-informed, right? Because McCain made it very clear he wants the repeal. Like, he made it very clear that he wants the repeal. That's why he voted the way he did when he left the hospital. The thing was, if you listen to his speech, which he had an amazing, like, very powerful speech when he came back or whatever. In his speech, he said, I'm going to vote for the repeal. However, I'm not voting for the bill in the current form that it's in. So when they took the second vote on the skinny bill, like, apparently they literally sat down over lunch and were like, okay, this is what we're going to do? Cool. And then put that to a vote. But that's when he voted no. So listen, it's not that he doesn't want the repeal, it's that he doesn't want it in the current state. So people need to, like, listen, stop thinking with your Twitter fingers.
Because again, the current state is let's just get rid of Obamacare, which would strip millions upon millions of people immediately of their health care, which is ridiculous. And it's interesting that the Republicans are continuing to try to push for. I say the Republicans, but a lot of Republicans voted against this, and that's the point. They keep putting forward these bills that they know are not going to pass.
Yeah,
it's a media manipulation trick, right? They're trying to keep this at front of mind of their constituents, so that their constituents that voted for this crazy person who is now in. I'm sorry, all respect to President Tiny Hands, but they're trying to make it feel like to these people that wanted this that they're actually doing something, when in essence they knew that the bill that they put on the floor was not going to pass in its current state, which is. It's frustrating. The politics of politics are frustrating, but it is what it is, man. And then there was the leaking. So all I saw was just petty. Like, I opened up the news, I started to read it, and then there was a guy. I think his name is Salucci.
It's Anthony Scaramucci.
Anthony Scaramucci.
But I've been saying Scaramucci.
Did I say
like
salami?
I don't know what you said.
I apologize, Scaramucci.
But
I also apologize if your name also isn't Scaramucci.
It's Scaramucci.
Scaramucci, which is not Scaramucci.
Listen. I know there's a Moochie in there, so we're gonna call him Mooch.
We're gonna call his brother Mooch.
Yo, Mooch.
Mooch, you gotta chill, bro.
Mooch, you gotta chill. I wish I could tell you what was going on with the leaks, like verbatim, but just like the healthcare bill, it's been all over the place. But essentially, from what I've seen, is that there was a high-ranking official that Mooch was not agreeing with. I don't know, and then he put out a tweet or something talking about we need to stop leakage, and then added that dude in the tweet. And then when asked about it, he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean he was the leak. I just meant that all higher officials should get out. But I picked his name."
So our administration is making its name off of subtweeting.
Yes,
that is what's happening.
Yes.
What interests me is, and again, I said that. Oh no, I didn't say this. Trump said this. Trump said that he said this during his campaign. He said I could shoot somebody, and I would still win this election, right? Mm-hmm. And he is proving his point. If this was Obama. Let's take Obama out of this. If this was Bush, if this was President Bush's administration, Bush would have been impeached already.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton got impeached.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this administration is literally in shambles and is eating itself. President Trump has admitted to the fact that he fired the FBI director because he was investigating him for his ties to Russia. Every single intelligence community in our country has said that Russia has meddled, or that Russia meddled in our election. The only person that is still publicly denying this is Putin and Donald Trump.
Putin was on the couch like, "Yo, I ain't do nothing." No.
like we have the CIA, the FBI, the NSA. All of our spy organizations
every
have said
lettered.
This president is in office in part because Russia put him there. And this guy is still in office.
I don't have time.
It's absolutely like he was in a meeting with a Russian official and said, "Hey, now that this Comey guy is fired, that's going to relieve a lot of pressure." Like, that's an actual quote from I can't.
Listen.
I give up. You win. You win, Tiny Hands.
Listen,
you and your frumpy suits.
About Donald Trump. I'm at the point where I'm not doing the whole he's not my president thing. He was elected. I didn't vote for him. He's there. I'm not voting for his demise. I just want him to not screw up the country further than he has.
I'm with you.
So at this point, I don't think that we're going to impeach him because, like you just said, we've just got to pick. It's literally at the point where it's like, pick one. Yeah. Pick one. All of them are slam dunks. But at this point, it's like, let's just write this out, and let's hope that
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there was a point where there was evidence that there was possibly proof that the Russian government was floating the fact that, hey, we've got this guy on videotape with prostitutes doing golden showers, and as a country, we literally said, "Nah, don't care."
Oh my god. I I just can't. But Obama wore a tan suit, and y'all lost your minds.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but I just thought about the golden showers and
It's
Trumpish.
fine. I mean, that seems in line.
Here's the thing. I'm done talking about Trump
We
on this podcast.
say that every week,
listeners,
but he's still ridiculous.
Listeners, if you have a serious-esque topic, and when I say serious, it doesn't have to be grim. It just has to be not like pop culture, right? If there's like we talked about before, we had those thought experiments. If there's a topic that you want to hear us tackle on episode 7 of EBS, shoot us an email at theeducatedblacksiblings@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at the EBS podcast or on Instagram, which is where we have the most followers. Hit us up at the EBS podcast on Instagram.
EBS.
So something else happened that was kind of crazy. This is a little bit older, but it still matters because it's still a thing that happened. And I realized I think Lindsey might have gotten away without having to see this. So you haven't seen the NRA ad that came out last month, have you?
I have not.
So we're gonna play that now. It's about a minute and 5 seconds. So I'm gonna play it so that you guys can hear it on the podcast if you haven't heard it. Then we're gonna talk about it a little bit, and then we're gonna stop talking about the press.
And then we're gonna stop.
All right. So here's the ad.
They use their media to assassinate real news. They use their schools to teach children that their president is another Hitler. They use their movie stars and singers and comedy shows and award shows to repeat their narrative over and over again. And then they use their ex-president to endorse the resistance, all to make them march, make them protest, make them scream racism and sexism and xenophobia and homophobia, to smash windows, burn cars, shut down interstates and airports, bully and terrorize the law-abiding, until the only option left is for the police to do their jobs and stop the madness. And when that happens, they'll use it as an excuse for their outrage. The only way we stop this, the only way we save our country and our freedom, is to fight this violence of lies with the clenched fist of truth. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
Lindsey is losing her mind. She's losing her mind right now. It's great. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but it was ridiculous. But hold on for a second. Hold on. They released another ad as well. Just hold on. Hold on. She says wait. She can't take it, guys. It's hilarious. So a bunch of people replied to this ad, obviously, and then the NRA replied to the replies to this ad.
To every member of the violent left who's having a meltdown over Dana Lash's NRA ad, get over yourself. You people openly call for the assassination of our president and then claim the NRA is inciting violence. You set fire to buildings and attack people in the streets and then go ballistic for being called out. You look down on gun owners, Trump supporters, and states without coasts, all the while relying on your armed security to protect you in your marbled office buildings and your fenced-in mansions. And to those of you on the violent left who claim we believe there's an us and them in this country, you're absolutely right. There are those of us who believe in freedom. Then there are those of you who actively burn down our country because you can't get over the fact your so-called progressive didn't win the election. Get over it and grow up. I'm talking to you, Tamika Mallory. You write a letter to the NRA on behalf of the Women's March claiming our clenched fist of truth ad was an attack on minority communities. You call it dangerous and demand it be...
So I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to give the NRA that much shine. But thank you for those of you that listened to that. Sorry if anybody dropped off. But just to let you know what just happened. So the NRA dropped an ad that basically said that there is a they and an us. They said that when we protest for our fake outrage, the police are eventually going to have to do their jobs and stop the madness. And when the police do their jobs, we're going to use that as an excuse to cry racism. So then what happened is a young lady named Tamika Mallory, who is one of the chair people for the Women's March, sent a letter to the NRA saying that this ad is dangerous. The NRA responded by putting her face and full name on another ad and said that she must be stopped.
That's...
dangerous is what that is. How do you... Lindsey is flabbergasted.
When did this come out?
This came out last month.
So my question is where has it been? Why have I not seen this? Am I late? Did I miss it?
Because we all have put ourselves in a shell of ignoring ridiculousness at this point in time.
I'm physically hot and tears were coming out of my eyes.
It's crazy, right?
He said, you people.
He said, you people.
I'm uncomfortable.
So so this is the National Rifle Association. And this lady said that we have to attack the liberal left.
The liberal left.
With a clenched fist of truth. Like
they are to do their job.
They're basically inciting people to violence.
That's just it.
That's crazy, right? Like, this is the world that we live in.
You asked the last time we talked, where were they during the Philando Castile things? They were making this ad.
They were making this ad.
That's where they were.
That police officer was doing his job
to
stop the madness.
Oh my gosh. That just wrecked my life. Mm-hmm. My entire life.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I don't feel.
You don't feel?
I'm numb.
Yeah, well, there's that. So Chipotle.
Nigga. What?
So Chipotle, their stock is dropping, right? Because do you know what the norovirus is?
Segways. No.
Neither do I, but okay. I know you can get it from Chipotle.
Okay.
Because
listen, let me go ahead and just put this out here. I was always Team Freebird. I don't know why y'all would go to Chipotle ever. Like, I've never heard one bad thing about Freebirds, but every other day my friends are like, man, I got food poisoning from Chipotle. Man, I was at Chipotle and rats fell out the ceiling. Man,
that happened in Dallas. That's not a...
No,
So because I looked at the demographics, we have a lot of listeners that are not from Texas.
Okay.
So in Dallas, there was actually a Chipotle in which rats started raining from the ceiling last week. That happened in Chipotle. Raining from the ceiling.
Raining down. Like, you know how they sprinkle the cheese on your burrito bowl? The rats
were oh my God.
The rats were sprinkled.
It's ridiculous. And I know that some people will say, oh, well, this is just an isolated incident. That was just one spot or whatever. But they had the salmonella poisoning. They've got the norovirus. There is an open investigation into the health standards at all Chipotles. I'm just kind of like, look, rats only got to fall out the ceiling out of one of your Chipotles.
I thought after the salmonella thing that they were done. Like, they were out. Like, once all of your stuff is contaminated and you have to, like, shut down stores, that's it. It's a wrap.
Yo, I still eat Bluebell, though, so there's that.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yeah, there's that.
Like, matter of fact, I was mad when it went away. And when that, what did it have? Listerine?
Listeria.
Listeria.
Speaking of Listeria, back to the NRA. I wanted to give Lindsey some time to calm down, but I don't want to brush over this issue because they published an ad inciting people to violence. You guys couldn't see it on the podcast, obviously,
but go watch the actual video.
But they've got these images of protesters, and it's like the vast majority of protests are not violent.
No.
Right? But violence does happen at protests. That is a thing that happens when you get people that are really, really opinionated and passionate about something, and you get people that are opinionated and passionate about the opposite thing, and they clash. Sometimes there's violence. That is a thing that happens, right? Yeah. But I don't think the answer to that violence is calling for the National Rifle Association to take up arms against all protesters.
So this goes back to what I was just saying and what I've been saying for weeks. And I hate to bring it back to Mr. Frump, but this is division that is in our country right now. Definitely. This is, like, I don't know about you, but I feel that 100% this is something that a president should speak out against. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous. And I know when I go to that YouTube video and watch and read those comments, it's going to be like, yeah, woo. Like, they were making a clear statement in there. Like, he clearly said, us versus them, yes. And that is, we're in such a dangerous time. We can't operate this way.
The thing that tripped me out is that he put that young lady's face,
like her face,
in the ad,
name,
like he made
and
her
literally
a target.
And said, "Go get her."
It's crazy.
Like, I just don't. It blows my mind.
It's insane.
It blows my mind.
The question is, how do we fix it?
Wait, that's what I just
said. Like, for me, I'm always on the side of dialogue, right? So it's like, and I don't even consider myself a liberal, right? I'm not a conservative, but anyway, what we have to do is not. When you see a Trump supporter on Facebook, your reply shouldn't be, "Oh man, he about to get this block," right? Like, we cultivate our social media and our lives in a sense that we're only around people that believe what we believe, right? So we have to get to a place where this NRA ad is not the only place that somebody is hearing your narrative, because if the only place that people are hearing your narrative is from people that believe what they believe, they're going to tilt your narrative in a negative way. Like, there are people who believe that every protest ends in violence. There are people who believe that people that say Black Lives Matter don't care about the lives of police officers. I have fraternity brothers that I care about dearly that are police officers.
Yeah.
I respect police officers. I respect what first responders do for lives, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we can't talk about the ones that aren't doing the right thing, and that we can't talk about reform. You know what I mean? Like, and we have to be able to have these conversations with people that watch that NRA ad. Like, we have to be able to have these conversations, or else that NRA ad is going to be where that side of the argument comes from, and that's just not good. Dialogue is the only way for us to move forward.
Just kind of to piggyback off of that, I was so frustrated this week that there was somebody in my Twitter feed, which I'm not going to read the exact tweet, but essentially they said something along the lines of, if you don't belong to this community, then it's not for you to understand this community. And I think that is a terrible opinion to have.
Right.
And we kind of talked about this either last week or the week before that, about the word bigotry. But it's like, I don't care if you are a conservative or a liberal. Liberals, hear me. I don't care either or. If you are intolerant towards someone else, if you think that your way is the only way and you're not open up to hearing the other side, then you are bigoted.
You're bigoted.
I'm sorry. You can be gay and be bigoted. You
can.
You can
definitely.
Just like you can be a Christian and be bigoted. I'm not saying those things are exclusive. I'm like, you understand? Like it does not matter. Like, it doesn't matter. And I keep saying, we are in a dangerous time where it's no longer about logic. It's no longer about reaching across the aisle. It's all about, this is mine. This is what I identify with. It's us versus them. And I'm gonna keep going back to saying it. It started off with this whole Trump mentality of, I'm winning, and if she wins, I'm not accepting that. The fact that we're still talking about Hillary Clinton and we're 6-7 months into his presidency is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like, I think that I just hope that the humanity in people comes out, and that we realize that at the end of the day, yes, we all feel certain ways. Yes, we have political views and religious views and whatever kind of views, but at the end of the day, we're all humans. But that moment that you stop viewing someone as another person and you're like, oh, you're just someone who disagrees with me, so I don't want to hear what you have to say, that's dangerous territory.
It is dangerous, and we say this all the time, and we mean it. We really do mean it. If you disagree with something that we have said on the podcast, we want you to, like, our whole purpose of having this podcast is so that we can invite you guys into the conversations that me and my sister have on a daily basis, right? So if you disagree with what we're saying about the NRA ad, shoot us a message, man. If you live in Dallas, come on the podcast.
Come through.
I would love to have somebody that represents the not extreme right, but the other side, just sit on the podcast and just talk about it, right? I think that would be a healthy dialogue for the people.
Or from the NRA?
From, not necessarily, because
they might have to call in.
I know people from that are a part of the. I think Dad is a member of the NRA, right?
Yeah.
Being in the NRA is just like, there are lots of gun owners that don't support this narrative that was pushed, and that's what's important to see, right? Even from our side, a lot of times as a black person or as somebody that is identifying with the liberal left, you can see that ad and say, oh, every gun owner feels like this, right? But that's not true.
That's not the case.
There are NRA members that looked at that ad and were like, what the heck is this? Like, this is not what I believe, right?
Yeah.
So again, that's why that kind of dialogue is important for us to have, right? I would also like to get a KKK member on the podcast. I think.
Listen, I'm sick that day, so you can go ahead and do that.
There's an active KKK chapter where we live.
I know.
I'd like to get one of them on the podcast.
Again, I'm sick that day.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're not going to go backwards and forwards on the NRA thing because me and my sister clearly agree about it. But if you have issues or if you want to add context to it, if you feel like it was, I don't want to say right, but if you feel like we're overreacting, please add us. It's not about having a fight or a debate. It's about having open dialogue. And if this podcast in any way, shape, or form can lend itself to that, can help with that, then that is the purpose of the podcast.
We
and
just want to open the conversation to you.
That would be awesome. So
there it is.
They said that R. Kelly has a sex cult.
Listen here.
The girl said she was all right.
I don't know why y'all are surprised that age ain't nothing but a number out here marrying 15-year-olds, Pied Piper, peeing on children. R. Kelly.
Well, when you put it like that, it makes it difficult to defend R. Kelly.
Should it ever be difficult to defend R. Kelly? I don't understand. It's because y'all are too busy out here trying to step in the name of love that you look past.
That song is so lit, though.
Isn't it? Every single reunion, every wedding. But guess what? He sleeps with children. So I don't have time for you.
So the thing about it, so he has a damning past. There was the video in which, well, he was acquitted, right?
This is great.
So there was that. So he's technically innocent. Now, he did marry Aaliyah while she was underage and made a song called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, which...
Go ahead, defend it.
That's damning. That is damning,
okay.
Right? But in this particular instance, did you see the video with the girl?
Yes.
And she said she was okay.
Okay, so... I hate you. Like, yo, listen.
So here's the thing.
No,
the girl is of age,
Gilbert.
Right? She is legal.
Okay. I'm not.
It's weird.
It
doesn't look good. R. Kelly, let me just say, the optic is crazy. R. Kelly, this does not look good for you. Because, look, you have every right to have women that are of age live in your house. Do whatever you want to do, right? But R. Kelly, you can't do this, man. It just, the optic looks crazy. Even if you're within your legal right.
The optics? Gilbert, listen here.
The optic looks crazy.
I believe you can fly right on out that door. Do you hear me? Because I'm not dealing with you. Do you understand? You ridiculous man.
She said she was okay.
She said she's being manipulated. Do you know what a cult is? Do you know how they get people to follow cults? Do you understand? What is wrong with you? You were probably the one in Jamestown be like, well, the Kool-Aid was tasty. Like, you get out of my face.
Oh, man.
R. Kelly is a terrible, god-awful person, and I refuse to support him. And
R. Kelly has failed. 100%, yes. I joke, pedophilia is not funny. Fortunately, in this case, again, these women that R. Kelly is currently alleged of doing whatever he's doing they are of age. That doesn't make abuse in any way, shape, or form right. But again, these are allegations. I would like to see some sort of investigation to figure out what was actually going on. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, because I realized we just kind of jumped into this, R. Kelly basically had some sort of success camp where he was like, if you want to be a successful R&B star, you got to come live in my house, give me your phone, no contact with the outside world, etc. They all happen to be women between the ages of 19 and 23.
Also not women,
right.
So young girls.
The people that I have an issue with is the parents here that let their children go.
But isn't there like a certain demographic of person that he chose for this? Like, it's, if you have a daughter who all you want is for her to be successful and you want her to get her career started and she's an R&B singer, and then you have R. Kelly, which again, I'm not even letting my child be in the same state as R. Kelly.
I'm with you there.
But
I have a daughter, but for the record, I have a daughter. My daughter's not going to R. Kelly's house. Ever. My sister's not going to R. Kelly's house.
I would never.
You know what I mean?
But
look, this is the pop culture segment of the podcast. I'm just gonna warn y'all right now. I'm just here to get these jokes off. Go for the rest of the podcast.
we've got enough going on.
Like that's all I'm here for right now is these jokes.
I'm so sick of you. Like literally.
So speaking of R. Kelly and inappropriate sexual conduct, so Rick Ross was on the Breakfast Club.
I hate Rick Ross.
Tell me why you hate Rick Ross. Wait. Let's deal with the fact that Rick Ross said, put Molly all in her drink. She ain't even know it. Took her back to the crib and enjoyed that. She ain't even know it. That's bananas. Rick Ross, before I get these jokes off, Rick Ross should already be out of here. Like, that's not a thing that you can say and or do.
Please
like,
go ahead and get him a sweater and some pudding.
Like, he's got to be... Was that a Bill Cosby joke? Did you just make a Bill Cosby joke on my podcast? So Rick Ross should already be out of here, right? But Lindsey, tell us what happened with Rick Ross on the Breakfast Club.
So Rick Ross went to the popular Breakfast Club to go ahead and promote whatever it is that he's doing. Doesn't matter. And was it Angela Yee or was it Charlamagne? I don't remember. But no, it was Angela Yee. She asked, would he ever be interested in signing a female rap artist to Maybach Music? And this fool said, man, I'd have to hit first. I had to F her because, you know, I'm out here spending all this money on her. She looking good. I'm going to have to go ahead and smash.
That's not actually what he said.
That's literally what he said.
No, so you said something in there.
So you're going to go from defending R. Kelly to defending Rick Ross.
I'm not
Are
defending,
you actually my brother?
I'm not defending. I'm not defending either.
If Rick
of them.
Ross, if your daughter was trying to be a rapper, and Rick Ross said, "Yo, baby girl, you can come in, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit one time. You gonna be cool, Ross? Go ahead, plow my daughter."
Nope.
Is that what you're going to say?
No, because again, that's not what he said. What we're not gonna do here is fake news, right? So he did not say I would have to hit first and then sign her. He said I wouldn't be able to sign her because I would want to hit.
Oh, semantics.
Those are two different things.
Oh, semantics. So it's better. So he wouldn't sign a girl at all.
No, I did not say it was better.
Because to him, all a woman is a piece
Where's
of
the
meat.
defense? No.
All the woman is a piece of meat. So listen, you may
anything?
have rap skills, baby girl, but at the end of the day, all you is a piece of tail to me. So I can't even sign you because I'm so tempted. I'm so blinded by the penis that I'm gonna have to go ahead and stick it on in you.
That's what he said. That's what he said. There's a difference. There's a difference between I'm gonna sign you, but before I sign you, I gotta hit, and saying, look, I'm not gonna sign you because I would want to hit. They're not the same.
And I meant to because I was.
And I'm not wait. I'm not defending. I'm not defending either.
Listen.
I'm just saying that there's a difference. They're both terrible. They're both terrible things.
Had
they are
misogyny trapped in the closet for a while.
They are so terrible.
But here he is. It is out.
They are both. Oh my gosh, they're so terrible.
I don't have time for you. And what's crazy is that I was gonna call you because I watched that.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
Yes. Give me the phone.
I have a soundboard, guys.
You're not allowed to hit any more buttons.
I do. I have a soundboard. That was an accident, though. But
it made me mad because that was such a fantastic interview until that point.
It was a pretty good
interview. And I remember I stopped it before.
He apologized.
Oh, yeah. But guess what? Like we've already said, apologies don't matter because you said it from your heart.
It's too late to apologize.
There it is. But then the other part of that was the photo that they took with Angela Yee.
He was the most with Angela Yee the whole podcast.
It was so uncomfortable.
Before we get to the rest of the podcast, because Lindsey just framed me in a way that I am not. I have not on this podcast defended either R. Kelly or Rick Ross.
Listen, let's go ahead and take a moment.
I'm all about the facts.
Let's go ahead and...
I'm about the facts.
Let's take a moment. I apologize for insinuating that you sided with these terrible people.
Oh, thank you.
However, you did seem like an apologist just then.
No, I just want to make sure that we're not pushing fake news.
Pushing fake news?
Yes, Rick Ross didn't say, let me hit, and then I will sign you.
Okay.
He said, I cannot sign you.
Okay.
Because I would want to hit.
So did R. Kelly pee on the girl before she was 18 or after?
R. Kelly was acquitted of He said that was not him on that videotape.
Oh, Lord.
And I have not seen the videotape. Have you seen the videotape?
Jesus, no. Why, Gilbert? It made me mad because
I'm just here to get these jokes out. Like that's really it.
Tell me more.
That's it. That is it.
I'm so sick of you. Yes. I can't. But no,
Rick Ross is crazy. That was a crazy.
This is the first time I've ever defended Angela Yee. But Yee, I saw you this interview, girl.
Yeah, she was the most. Or he was the most. She was the most. Charlamagne was the most. Envy was the most. They were all the most. That podcast was. You said it was a great podcast, but I was uncomfortable from the beginning when Ross was like, "Yo, let me see them legs."
I was uncomfortable, but I was like intrigued guess not great interview. I was intrigued by it, and then he made that statement, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But the Brilliant Idiots this week had a lot. Not the Brilliant Idiots. What's it called? Charlamagne and Friends. What's that show called?
It is
Breakfast
the
Club.
Idiots. Oh,
Breakfast Club had a whole bunch of interviews this week that were really interesting.
They did.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, Rick Ross is the most. Again, let me state that what he said was wrong. It represents a reality for a lot of people in the music industry, so I'm actually glad that he said it, so that people can see what female MCs have to deal with.
And we talked about Cardi B earlier. I'm not gonna play the clip, but I told you I started following Cardi B because of her Instagram. My friend sent me a clip the other day of Cardi going in talking about how she hates it when people insinuate that she effed her way to the top. She said, I wish I had effed my way to the top. That would have been easier. She said she's out here working hard and grinding and trying to have this talent out here in these streets. I said, go ahead, Cardi.
Bro, Cardi B is the perfect example. And I know we started the podcast off with Bodak Yellow for a reason, but Cardi B is the perfect example of hard work working when talent doesn't necessarily work, right? Cardi B had... No, seriously. So I've been following Cardi B.
That was the best backhanded compliment I've ever heard.
No. I've been following Cardi B as a rapper since she started rapping, and she was not always a great rapper, right? But she has done something that so many reality stars have not been able to do, and that's parlay that reality success into success in another venue.
Yeah.
And like I've listened to all of Cardi B's mixtapes, all of her song releases, and she actually is a good rapper.
Yeah.
And she used that platform. That's why I said she said, I want to be a musician. I'm going to use this platform that I have, but I'm also going to work really, really hard. And she's been grinding so much so that regardless of if you like her or not, she's the hottest rapper in New York this summer. Like that song, Bodak Yellow is one of the hottest songs in the clubs right now.
It is a bop forever and always.
I love Cardi B as a lyricist.
I'm not excited for this school year, but when I tell you that first day of school, my car, I'm bumping Bodak Yellow on repeat the entire way there. That song gets me hype.
OJ free.
Is this the show of you defending ridiculous men? Because I'm not.
Why does me saying OJ is free?
Because I know you're going to say some BS in a second. Okay.
I'm just saying that OJ is free.
OJ is free.
And he was also acquitted.
And he surely was.
but OJ's free.
I feel a little bit less of some kind of way towards OJ than I do the other
Because he's 72?
No, because it's like he was acquitted.
Can we talk about the fact that OJ is 70 years old?
It just doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, but
do
he's
kids
free.
know about OJ? Like young people?
I don't know. I just know that this reality show is about to be lit.
OJ's?
Yeah.
You having a reality show?
He's got to have... Look,
I'm not watching that.
we're going to find out that Khloe Kardashian is his daughter on the
No,
reality
we're not.
show. It's going to be fantastic.
No, we're not.
Justin Bieber. What's going on with your boy?
Listen. I love me some Biebs. I do.
We are all over the place today.
It's fine.
It's because it's early. It's really early.
I'm still
guys.
not awake, guys. Like the sun isn't even up.
But Justin Bieber.
So Justin canceled the rest of his tour dates. But which before we get into, I want to specify, I saw Justin Bieber perform in 2000 at the like halfway through 2016. Like people are on his case. He's been on this same tour.
It's been like 2
since
years,
the
right?
beginning of 2000, like literally almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So I get that he almost had, like he had 14 dates left, but that is a long time. Like a long time. To the point where I'm not mad at you. Like he was coming back to Dallas. I'm like, Bieber, you were just here like a year and a half ago. Like I don't blame Bieber. Also, I was mad because there's a podcast I listened to that I'm not going to say because it hurts my heart that they said this. But they were going in on Bieber for being whatever. And it's like, I understand. Bieber was doing the most a couple of years ago. And don't get me wrong. It was hilarious to watch. But I think Gilbert pointed out something to me earlier this week. He texted me. He's like, yo, Bieber 23?
Bieber is only
like,
23 years old.
Bieber is a young man growing. Like when he was going through all of that, Bieber was 19 years old.
Like does he not seem like he's way older
because
than 23?
he was in the news. Bieber was Bieber was Trump. Like
Bieber was Trump before Trump was Trump.
It was just Bieber fever, like continuously. But like, and we talked about.
Wait,
this.
can I recant that? Bieber's not Trump.
No, not at all. I'm sorry, Bieber. I apologize, Justin. But
Bieber made nothing even matter.
I just meant like as far as monopolizing the media. Like Bieber was everywhere, peeing in buckets, egging houses. But we talked about this off air before, but we all, to some extent, went through, I don't want to say like a rebellious phase, but we all went through a period of time in our lives where we were wilding out. Like, and maybe not to the point where we're peeing in buckets and doing the most and whatever, but we all have at least some phase in our life where we look back on and it's like, man, I was an irresponsible, reckless child. Bieber just happened to be the most popular, famous pop star and a millionaire, I can't speak this morning, and a millionaire, and a beautiful man, and it just so happened that it was the perfect storm for him to do that.
The thing that trips me out is that he said he canceled the tour for his soul and well-being, and people were going in on him on that. Mm-hmm. And the same people that were going in on him on that are the same people that say that the black community don't care enough about mental health. And I'm just like, you got to pick one. I don't really understand, right? It's like you got a man who was on tour for 2 years straight. Yeah. Who's in an extreme, like, I know that he lives a great life, right? He's rich and all that good stuff, but he lives an extremely stressful life, right? Mm-hmm. He's been on tour nonstop for 2 years, and he says he recognizes his breaking point before he gets to the point of a Rick Ross having seizures on tour, or a Lil Wayne having seizures on tour, or August Alsina having seizures on tour, mm-hmm. or Chris Brown having seizures on tour, right? Justin Bieber is saying, look, I gotta pull out of this because I'm at my breaking point. Yeah. Like, how many more of us as people could benefit if we took some time off for our soul and well-being? Yeah. I don't know if you're not gonna be mad at me for defending Justin Bieber.
I love Bieber, so okay. No. I don't know if you saw, but there was an incident.
I'm sorry, I got serious. I meant to get these jokes off. My bad.
There was an incident where Bieber hit a paparazzi. A paparazzo? What is the correct
paparazzi?
Word? A paparazzi.
No, that's not right.
He hit a paparazzi person with his truck.
With his truck? No, defend this. Listen, you love the Biebs.
There's a video. Chill out.
There's a what
it's
is
like that? No, because this, and that's the point that I'm trying to get to.
There's a video of him hitting the paparazzo.
Bieber was trying to leave a place, get in his truck, and go the heck home. And there were literally dozens of people surrounding him, blinding him with lights, and he was just trying to leave. And he literally, Bieber pulls out as they're flashing the lights as he's trying to drive, and he didn't run the guy over. Like, the guy kind of like, I think, like, as Bieber was turning out, like, the guy was standing on the side of the driveway, so Bieber like clipped his leg. But he gets out of the car, he sits with the guy, like, he makes sure he's okay, he's calling people. But there's a moment where there's just flashing pictures, and Bieber's like, have you got enough? And they're like, no, we're gonna keep taking pictures of you. It's like, man, you need to realize that there are people too. Bieber got a heart.
He does have a heart.
Bieber can't. I'm sorry, I have hiccups. I'm dying. But
much love and prayers goes out to the Biebs.
Love you, Biebs. But I will say, Bieber, bring back your good R&B, man. Because when he was rebelling, that's when he made the best music, man.
Justin Bieber has made some of the best R&B in the last 10 years.
Y'all need to go listen. Y'all need to go listen to Bieber's Journals album.
So, Lindsey.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have enough time today to dive into how much we hate these people.
These people?
But yes, this is now an NRA ad.
Okay.
No, how do you feel about people who spoil TV shows and movies?
Let me go ahead and tell you, if you spoil things, you can no longer be in my life.
Like, I feel like, okay, here's the thing. We're gonna dedicate a segment to this next week because we don't, or in a fortnight because we don't have time to get into it today. But I feel like,
what do you feel?
It's not that difficult before you jump on Facebook and say that Olivia Pope is gonna murder the president. I've never seen Scandal, so that's not a spoiler, right? But before you say that, it's not that difficult to just type the word spoiler in all caps before you do it.
It's just
like, first of all, I don't understand the need to live tweet television shows. Like, I don't understand why you feel the need to do that. Like, so we're gonna talk about our favorite shows here in a second, right? But Sundays just got lit. Sundays are lit. Have you sent anything to me on Facebook in the last couple weeks?
Nah.
That's good because I deleted my Facebook because Game of Thrones is out, Power is out, Insecure is out, and the only way that I can not be spoiled is by removing myself from social media.
So essentially, I've done what I don't want to do, but I've had to literally carve out a block of time. So Sunday night, starting at 8 o'clock, well, really like 7:30, I'm unavailable until about 10. So it's literally to the point where I don't have to block people on Twitter or Instagram.
I'm just not on it.
I put my phone away between those hours and I watch Game of Thrones in peace. And I tell my friend, like my best friend already knows. It's like, don't text me during the episode because you may have watched it before I do, and we talk about it the next day. But it's like I literally put my phone away. I watch Game of Thrones, and then during Insecure. So live tweeting is weird to me, but I do like to look at Twitter during Insecure because y'all are crazy out here in these streets. But my phone is up. Like you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me.
There are people that spoil stuff on purpose.
Oh no, I know. I had a quote unquote friend that literally I was reading the Hunger Games and she said, "Oh, by the way, just want to be a jerk tonight. This is what happens at the end of the Hunger Games."
Wow.
It's like why would you do that? Why? But we're gonna talk about that next week. We ain't gotta worry about it. But
So
HBO
is going in.
HBO.
But not just so for me, it's not just HBO. Like my Sunday consists of church. And when I get home from church, I turn on Power. If you are not watching Power, you tripping, bro. Power is fantastic. Then after Power goes off, I watch Game of Thrones. Then I watch Insecure. Then I watch Ballers. It's fantastic. So we haven't quite decided how we're going to deal with talking about Game of Thrones because we don't want to spoil things, but we both we're really, really into that show. So we're going to talk about it at some point. We're not going to talk about it today.
Not today.
But we're going to figure out how we're going to do it in a way that we don't bore those of you who don't like Game of Thrones and that we don't spoil. We may do a separate Game of Thrones podcast.
Mini pod.
A mini pod.
Also, I just want to say, I understand that some of y'all don't watch Game of Thrones, but I've never seen people more adamant about not watching a show than Game of Thrones. And I understand because it's, like, Game of Thrones is a pop culture monster.
It wasn't when I started watching it.
It was. Like, I understand, but it's grown tremendous. And that's part of testament to the greatness of that show. But it's like, if you don't like Game of Thrones, that's fine. But y'all doing the most. Like, I'm talking about people going in because of people out. It's like, I watch that beep and show me beep. Okay, it's like, all right, chill out. Like, if you don't like dragons, that's cool.
Who doesn't like dragons, though?
Well, you can't be in my life.
You know what I mean?
Are dragons real?
So, the top 5 popular things that we hate.
You're not going to do me. Dinosaurs are real.
Dinosaurs are real.
Were they not flying dinosaurs?
Were there not flying dinosaurs?
Like Big Bird dinosaurs.
Okay.
So why could there not be dragons?
Keep going.
Don't listen. Listen, I think dragons could be real.
Okay, tell me more.
Like they could be real. Like I just don't know how to listen. Okay, the fire breathing part, a little iffy.
A little iffy.
But I don't know. I mean, if sharks could be, by the way, this was Shark Week this past week. But if sharks can be real,
if sharks can be real, yes, it is possible that sharks are real. You're correct.
Okay, I'm done.
Dragon, tell me more about dragons.
I'm done. I need a nap.
Tell me more about dragons.
Yo, the worst part about today is that I'm not gonna get to sleep at all, and I'm gonna have to go buy energy drinks. I'm giving you a warning. I'm about to be hyped up today because my energy level is 0. But I support dragons. I support sharks. Sharks are terrifying. You know what else is terrifying? Whales.
You know what else is terrifying?
Huh.
Dragon sharks.
Okay. Did you ever see Sharknado?
No, I've never seen Sharknado. Tell us about Sharknado.
I refuse to watch it.
Speaking of Sharknado, Meek Mill dropped an album last week.
It doesn't matter. I know. I feel
it was
bad.
really
Meek
good.
actually makes good music.
It was a really good album.
He just took an L.
Tell you what, you listen to the name of the album is Wins and Losses.
Is it really?
Yes.
How fitting.
Yes, it is. Listen to it. We're going to talk about it on the next podcast.
Cool.
Oh, before we get into our top 5,
cool.
I saw Spider-Man Homecoming. It was really good. I don't know if you guys heard that, but she just did the freaking Spider-Man web throwy thing for no reason. Anyway, top 5 popular things that we happen to hate.
Was it hate when you posed that to me? I don't think it was hate.
Hate sounds better. I like it.
Hate is a strong word.
Let's go with
but
hate.
I really
So
don't like you.
I'm sure that you all have things that fall into this category too. Is things that lots of people like that you hate. For some of you, it's gonna be Game of Thrones, right? Lots of people like Game of Thrones. You don't like Game of Thrones. But go ahead and hit us up on Twitter at the EBS Podcast, or send us an email at at educatedblacksiblings@gmail.com, or hit us up on Instagram at the EBS Podcast and let us know what the 5 popular trends are that you don't actually like. So I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay, I had to too.
So my first honorable mention is hating popular trends. Because it has become popular to hate things that are popular just because you like hating things that are popular. Mm-hmm. That is not me. I'm not an actual counterculturist. That's not like I'm not a contrarian just for the sake of being a contrarian. It just happens so that there are things that are popular that I just don't like. Mm-hmm. What's your honorable mention?
So I kind of looked at it in a different way. My thing that's in my honorable mention are things that I didn't like because they were popular, but then I gave in and found out that they're actually fantastic.
Oh, that's an interesting list. We should do a whole 5 of those another time.
Oh, then maybe I shouldn't say this.
No, give it to me. Let's hear it.
Oh, well, the main one is Scandal. So Scandal was a show. It's really pretty much all Shonda Rhimes, because Grey's Anatomy is the other one. Scandal was a show that came out and people were all about it. And I remember Gilbert and I were both like, no, we're not doing it. And I can't remember if I was just in a television drought or what happened, but I started watching Scandal. Scandal is fantastic. Now the later seasons is kind of okay, but the first 2 to 3 seasons of Scandal, oh my goodness. That TV was thrilling. And it's better to binge watch Scandal than to have to wait week by week. So if you have Netflix and you haven't watched Scandal, I suggest that you go watch it. Also Grey's Anatomy, it's the same deal. Grey's Anatomy is a really, really good show. And I guess Grey's started in the mid 2000s, but it ages well because it's still on. So it's fine. But those are things. I don't really have any other honorable mentions.
My other honorable mention is Cars.
The movie or
no, actual vehicles? Cars.
Okay.
It's like a it's like a man thing to be like, oh man, that Lambo. It's I don't really care for it. I'm obsessed with Teslas. I would like to have a Tesla, but I'm not super into cars. That's not my. It's not my thing.
I think for me, our dad did a great job of ingraining the fact into me. He said one time, he said a car is just a thing to get you from point A to point B. And I don't know why that just always made sense to me. So I just don't I need a reliable car. That's it, more than anything. I don't care about the upgrades and the hooplas and the rim-diddy-rims and the doobity-doos. I don't care. So yeah, cars, I get that. That's a good one.
All right. You have another honorable mention?
Nah.
All right, get into the list. What's your number 5?
Okay, so my number 5 of popular things that people like that I don't are live action remakes. So I want to just say, in defense of them, I do watch them. So The Lion King is my favorite movie, my favorite Disney movie of all time, and they're coming out with a live action remake, and I'm going to watch it. But hear me, we don't need them. Is there such a lack of creativity in Hollywood that we're just okay, you see that movie that did really well, that was animated? Let's get people and CGI and do it again.
I'd like to see a live action Despicable Me.
No. That'll just be like Willy Wonka and the Oompa Loompas. It'd be terrifying.
It would be terrifying.
It would be absolutely terrifying. It just makes me mad that we're at this point where we're just every 5 seconds just shelling out another live action remake. It's just sickening. I hate it. And I don't know if you saw Beauty and the Beast. It's they added songs to it, and it's I don't need the Beast to have a song. It was literally shot for shot the same day.
Do you like Beauty and the Beast?
Tale as old as time.
So you like it?
Yes, not as much as The Lion King.
So you're mad at me for defending R. Kelly, but you're defending a movie about bestiality. I'm just saying. Number 5 on my list is...
Kick rocks.
Number 5 on my list is Going Out.
What?
It's going out. It's people like going to clubs and to bars. It's just not my thing. There's so many people The music is so loud. Like, I went out with my partners like a couple weeks ago, and we went to the spot, and the speakers were just so loud. And I was like, are nobody else's ears hurting? Like, is that just me?
I
Like,
love
so
it.
going out is not for me. I'll do it occasionally, every once in a while, special occasion. That's cool. But I just don't want to be in a club with a bunch of strangers that I don't know. You know, it's not fun for me.
I totally agree. That's not on my list, but it should have been. I was telling somebody the other day, there's never been one positive experience I've had being in a club. Now, going out, there was a time where I went, like, I don't like being around large groups of people that are intoxicated. But we went to like a lounge type deal. That was cool. But like clubs, nah. But they're stupid. So I feel you.
What's number 4 on your
That
list?
was so random. All right. So my number 4, and this is kind of random. This was something that I didn't know I hated until somebody pointed it out to me. Wedding hashtags.
Wedding hashtags? What does
So
that even
there's this thing, this trend where when people get married, they have a wedding, they use they take a part of their name and they use like a popular phrase and try to make it cutesy. So when people take pictures, they'll hashtag it. So like, becoming Brandon or Napoli ever after, like, cause the name would be Napoli. I can't, like, I had a list of them and I don't know where it went, but it's just like, I don't understand. Like, it's annoying. It's annoying. Don't create a hashtag just for me to post things about your wedding. Like, I already don't want to be at your wedding. Like, so that's enough. But I don't need your cutesy little happily ever strooped in love or whatever. Like, I don't need it. I don't need it. Look, here we go. Here's some. Say yes to the Cress, because her last name was Cress. K-R-E-E-S.
Are these people that you actually know?
No, so one of them was, but I don't want to say their last name. So
Gotcha.
no, these are fake. Here's one.
Fake wedding person, if you listen to the podcast, we still love you.
Morgan he bargained for.
Oh, that's good.
My big fat Harry wedding, because his name was Harry. That's a little. You know, I just hate it. It's stupid. It's annoying. Don't do it. That's my 4.
My number 4 is The Walking Dead.
Okay.
That's
a mistake.
I don't have anything against The Walking Dead.
You do. You don't like zombies.
I don't like zombies.
So that's
which is why I don't watch. This is why I don't watch The Walking Dead. But I realize it's a very, very popular show, and people are often like, "Hey, do you watch The Walking Dead?" And I simply reply, "No." And then they say, "Why?" And I say, "Because I don't like zombies."
Zombies?
Zombies.
Tell me more about zombies.
Zombies. I don't like zombies.
Zombies?
I don't like them, except for vampires. Vampires are the only zombies I like. Ooh, and the White Walkers on.
Are vampires zombies?
Yeah, basically.
But no, because you don't
And Jesus.
die. Jesus is the ultimate zombie.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can you write a short story about Jesus being a zombie?
I could do that, yeah.
Please.
But I'm not going to.
I will. I don't need you.
Number 3.
So this was my number 3 before I knew the topics that we're going to talk about. But my number 3 is Chipotle. I've always hated Chipotle. Like I told you, I'm Team Freebirds. I don't know why people go there. I don't know why it's a big deal. I went once with a friend, and I was like, this food is subpar at best. Like, I don't understand. And now Chipotle is literally killing people and feeding rats. So I don't know why. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, what is it? There's not crack in the rice. There's not butter in the beans. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we don't need you, Chipotle. There's so many other places. And I think especially growing up in San Antonio around real authentic Mexican food, I don't want Bethany Ann feeding me chicken bowls. I don't want it. I don't love Chipotle.
Oh my god, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life.
I never liked you. I never liked you. But people really do talk about Chipotle like that. And it's like, chill out. So yeah, Chipotle is my number 3.
They should have never gave me a soundboard.
Here's the thing. They didn't. They didn't.
All right, so
I'm your partner in this podcast, and I wholeheartedly disagree. Y'all go ahead and tweet out, Instagram, your thoughts, your feelings on Gilbert's SoundCloud. Not his SoundCloud, on his soundboard. Let me know how it feels. Moving right along.
So my number 3 is Nutella.
Have you had Nutella?
I have had Nutella,
Okay.
but it's just spread. Like, like, it's like, what are we?
It's just spread.
It is like, what are we doing here?
Nutella's fantastic.
Chocolate juice. Like, what? It's all it is.
It's not juice.
It's chocolate. It's chocolate spread. It's chocolate peanut butter. I don't need it. I don't need a jar of chocolate. I've seen people eat Nutella just it.
I've done that. But I've
There
also
you-
done that with peanut butter.
What's your number? What's your number?
When was the last time? No. You're not gonna judge me. When was the last time you stuck a spoon in some peanut butter and just licked that bad boy?
Literally never.
Look, Gilbert, there's peanut butter right on the table.
I've literally never done
Can
that.
I go get you a spoon and you get
Of peanut butter?
just like a little bit?
No.
We'll do it live on the podcast.
Wait, you want me to eat peanut butter live on the podcast?
think about the great quality that would be if you smacking on the peanut. All right, so my number 2.
This is the last episode of the EBS podcast.
Guys, I gave you fair warning that I was tired. Okay, so my number 2, it's like, it's iffy because I feel this way, but then I don't feel this way. My number 2 is tattoos.
What?
So here's the thing. Tattoos, I feel like tattoos are trendy now. I feel like people are on board with tattoos because it's becoming more socially acceptable to have them. So more and more people are getting them. You know, I've got a teacher friend, I've got multiple coworkers that are tatted up, and it's like it's not a thing anymore. It's like, oh, you have tattoos, as long as they're not on your face and say "F you students," like you can have tattoos. But it's like I think it's because I want to have a tattoo, maybe, but I can't think of anything worthwhile to put on my body like that.
Put
And
the
it's like-
EBS podcast.
No. And it's like I'm not gonna put scripture. Like I have Bibles everywhere. I have them in my phone. I know them. Like I don't need scripture to be on my body. Be like, oh, what is John 3? Oh, there it is. Like I don't need that. So it's like I don't know, man. But tattoos, I'm over tattoos.
My number 2 is hating on the Kardashians.
That's a good one.
It seems like it has become extremely trendy
That's a good one.
to hate on the Kardashians.
That's a good one.
I'm not a Kardashian hater.
However, never mind. They're not Kardashians.
The Jenners.
The Jenners. Hate on them all you want because they seems like pieces of garbage.
This is wow. Go feminism. This is a.
No, you won't.
This is a. I'm not gonna go on a Kardashian love rant here, right? But the thing that always bothers me is that when people say that they don't have a talent, because making people care about your life in the way that people care about the Kardashians' life is indeed a talent. If it wasn't, you would also be famous.
That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all can talk about Kim all you want. They've had that show for 10 seasons.
It's a couple of y'all that I've seen thirst trapping for likes on Instagram, and you ain't got no followers yet. I'm just saying. Some of y'all got tapes out too, and y'all ain't got no followers yet.
Are you talking to the slaves in the farm?
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, my number 2 is hating on the Kardashians. I do not subscribe to the Kardashians.
I'm just saying, you can do better. We didn't talk about Drake retiring the strippers' jerseys.
We didn't, and we're not going to.
But it's Malaya.
Drake is a simp.
Someone tell Malaya I'm a fire. She should work tonight. All right, so my number 1.
She wasn't happy about that, by the way.
She's upset,
Oh, yeah.
in every way, shape, or form.
She said, I'm going to be twerking until I get tired of twerking. You're not going to retire me from twerking. That's really what she said. Go look. That's really what she said.
And now we're not recording this because your hand movements.
Yes, we're not doing video today. And I was just doing the most with my Malaya.
My number one thing that people love, trend that people love, whatever, I don't know what the topic is avocados. I hate avocados. And I hate that, especially within the last 2 years, people are just going in for avocados and guacamole. It's gross. It's green snot that they plop on your plate. It's green snot that they plop on your plate. I don't need it. I don't want it. Hey, man, would you like a side? No, I would not like a side. Oh, can I have this burrito with no guacamole, please? With no avocados? Or those cut avocados? Keep those cut avocados over there. They're disgusting. And it's funny because people are like, let me go to Chipotle and get avocados. Maybe if you would stop eating the nasty avocados at Chipotle, you would stop getting sick. Maybe that's what it is. Avocados are gross. They're gross. People eat them with chips. People eat them whole. My mother sings avocados from Mexico 24/7. I don't need them. They're disgusting. They're little alien beans, and I don't want them. They're gross.
Your hatred for avocados is hilarious.
I'm letting you know. They're disgusting. My number one, avocados.
My number one is Apple products.
Why did I not put that on my list?
I don't like the iPhone. I've never had an iPad. I've been arguing that Macs were not superior to PCs. That's not even an argument anymore, by the way, but that used to be an argument back in the day in nerd communities, if Macs were better than PCs, etc. Like, I don't like Apple products. I don't like the proprietary nature of the Apple product suite. I don't like the cult-like following that Apple has. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't like that iPhone users feel like iPhones are ubiquitous when they're actually not. There are more Android devices in the United States than there are Apple devices. People freak out when you don't have an iPhone. It's like, oh, you don't have an iPhone? Yeah, it's like, no, and so neither does the majority of the United States. It's like, I don't like iPhones.
And their users.
No, I like Apple users. You guys are fine. It's the extreme Apple users that I don't like. But I'm sure you got look. I'm an Apple bigot. It is what it is.
Oh no.
It just is what it is. I was about to say I welcome your Apple discussions, but I don't.
I'm an Apple bigot.
I don't welcome your Apple discussions. That's the only thing. I don't want you to send me any messages about Apple. Don't do it.
Flood the DMs.
Just don't.
Flood them.
But that's my number one. I want you guys to send us a message. Let us know what things that are popular that you don't like. And please don't message me about Apple products. I don't want to hear about them. But this has been episode number 6 of the EBS podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Again, you guys can follow us at the EBS podcast, basically on everything, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Just search for us on YouTube. Just search for Educated Black Siblings. Search for us on Google Play,
and on iTunes, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Listen, we are here. We are out here. We are here for you. Come through. Listen to us. We want to talk. Okay. Is it instrumental?
Yeah.
Is it instrumental?
Yeah.
Yay. Check it.
EBS podcast.
Hey, podcast.
Episode
right
6.
Listen.
Bodak Yellow.
Hey.
We here.
Hey. So we is here, we is siblings, and this what we do. Here we are, we ain't got no money, but we talking boo. Gamefly, it's the sponsor, man. We can game with you. Come through, baby blue. We about to set it up. Woo, woo.
EBS podcast, episode number 6. We'll see you guys later.